Hi, welcome to this video. So what I thought I'd do is kind of just do a little bit of info about my live sets for anybody who wants a bit of inspiration for playing live, or if you want to know how I do it, because there's kind of a few different ways I use the Deluge for live. So I mean, obviously, if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know the Deluge is pretty much the center of my studio. I use it for writing and live performance, probably more for live performance than writing. I don't know, or maybe not, 50-50 each. But anyway, so my live rig is pretty portable at the moment. I take out the Deluge, I have a Roland TB03 for the RCD bass lines, and then I've got a Yamaha DTX Multi-12 that I use for live drumming and also for triggering samples and loops and starting and stopping stuff on here, which is going to come up in a different video. What I'm going to do is, so these videos aren't really long, I'm going to do like a series of videos on different tracks from my current live set that use the Deluge in my setup in various different ways. So this first track is called Kings. I'll put a little thing in the description. If you don't want to listen to how I perform the thing live, I'll put the time stamp thing in so you can just skip to where the actual song comes in. If you just want to listen to that, you might want to listen to that first and then come back to see the explanation or whatever. You might not even want to listen to it, but I don't care, do whatever you want. But anyway, right, so this one's quite a simple one to start off with. What I try and do with my live performance is I try and make it kind of as interesting and as musical as possible. In other words, I want to be playing stuff, so whether that's playing like synth parts on here or live drumming, I don't want to be looking at just like pressing a button, standing there pressing a button. So I like to kind of keep active and make it look like I'm actually performing something, which basically I am. So this track Kings is made up of basically we've just got two tracks in the song view, or clips as we're supposed to call them now. So the first one is actually just sort of the backing track. So this is one of the ways that I perform live, is that I will listen to my song and I'll think, yeah, I could start again. Yeah, right. What I do is I'll listen to my tracks and I'll try and kind of work out which bit realistically I can play live. That might be drumming, it might be playing a synth part. In this instance, it's a pad that I kind of play throughout the song. So this is, I created this track, or this song I should say, before the version 3.0 firmware came out. So rather than using an audio clip on here, I've got it on a kit. So what I've done for this is I've exported the track from Ableton Live with some of the pad sounds taken out that I will then recreate live from the synth part in here. I've just created a new clip. I've brought that WAV file in as basically a just on this channel thing down at the bottom.
Just smile.
So that's
just smile.
basically just the WAV file of that.
Just
load that in as a really long sample, 3.5 minute sample, and then it's just a case of just making sure that your song is long enough to fit that in. It's a lot easier to do now because you would just put that in as an audio clip, which let's show you how you could do it on the new version. So create a new audio clip. I'm going to do that. Let's open that one up. We'll go to browse, and it's just in, I go to my folders, my samples folder. So there's Kings, and that's the sample. So that's the full song, which is now loaded in on there, which actually is a much more easier way of doing it. And in fact, let's just do it like that now. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this one. Let's get rid of the old way, and we'll update my set. Now I've got a little bit of silence at the beginning of this. Now the other thing to bear in mind is it does time stretch stuff, but you can eliminate the time stretching by doing the following, because I don't want this to actually be time stretched, because it's not particularly important for this. To do this, what we would do is open up the audio track we've just clip, I should say, loaded in, because if you're not sure how audio clips work, when you put them in, when you put any audio, pre-recorded audio in, it time stretches it to the current tempo. My track is at 102 beats per minute. I have got my tempo set actually to the speed of this, but obviously it's done something weird on the warping and it's playing it back slower than it should do. So to kind of get rid of I'm calling it warping, sorry, it's time stretching. I'm so used to using Ableton Live. To get rid of the time stretching and get it to play to its original tempo, all you do is open up the waveform view, hold down the tempo knob and press any of these pads here. And you can see it's actually changed the tempo. It seems to think the tempo of this track is 137.4 beats per minute, which it's not, but there's some weird silence and bits in there. So, but when I play it now,
Just smile if you're having fun tonight.
Okay, now playing back at its normal tempo. So just be aware of that if you're got weird time stretching things going off, just do that. I've also got, if you look at the beginning of here when I press play now, I've got quite a bit of silence, so I want to get rid of that. So the easiest way to do that is we go into waveform view, which is shift and press this top button here, and the flashing green bar there is where my track is going to start. Now I want a slight bit of silence because I've got to get ready to play, so I'm going to try it about there.
Just smile if you
That should be fine. Okay, so I've just undone that. What a muppet. Oh no, I haven't. It's still there. I want to go back into song view. I think that should be all right.
Just smile if you're having fun tonight.
That's fine. Okay, so first thing I remember is now to save that. So it's when you save now in the new firmware version, it will come up with, whereas before it would come up with like variation, like if you were saving song 1 and then you pressed save, it would go to like 1A, 1B, 1C and 1D. It just comes up with the name and then version 2, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to overwrite the original one. So just get my cursor back to there, press save again, asks me if I want to overwrite, and I overwrite. Okay, so that is now ready on my the new basis using an audio clip rather than the other way of having to load your sample into a clip. So all I've done then really for performing this one live is I've sort of tried to recreate the synth pad that I used on the original, which I think on the original was some sort of plugin off Ableton Live. And basically what I'm playing throughout most of this track is this kind of sequence of notes. Get it right. It's there. Okay, and I'll perform the song and just show you how I play that. There's a few bits where I kind of mess about with just with one note and change the filter. And that's basically it for this track. It's one where I would play it back in exactly the same form as I wrote it. Some of my tracks I think work better like that when it's more of a specific song structure. Some of the others that you'll see coming up in future videos are a little bit more kind of probably groove based, so I can kind of make those tracks as long or as short as I like. So hopefully that sort of makes sense as to how I've created and performed this track live, and then keep an eye out for other tracks coming up over the next few weeks. I've done a few covers as well, so I'll try and sort of show you how I've done those. I've done Club to Death by Rob D. I've got a cover of Killer by Adamski. I've also done Blue Monday by New Order, and also High State of Consciousness by Josh Wink. So I'll try and talk you through those as well coming up in a few weeks time. Okay, so I will I'll just perform the song so you can hear it. This is my new single called Kings, which is going to be out on 27th of September 2019. So depending on when you watch this, it might be available, it might be not. It'll be available in all digital stores. If you like it, go and give it a load of streams, and I'll make about 2 pence off it. So thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy the track. Oh yeah, one thing I was going to say just before I perform the track, I've got it. This track is in some sort of a weird scale. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So as you'll probably see, I'm actually playing notes that aren't in the scale lit up from here, but I've kind of played it so many times this way, I just kind of instinctively know where my fingers need to go without having it on the notes that are lit up. So if you're thinking, well, hang on, why is he not using the scale function properly? It's just down to the fact that that's the way I've learned it. So again, that kind of thing is down to personal preference. So here we go. We'll crack on with the track, and we'll give it a play through.
Just smile if you're having fun tonight, and groove if you feel the push inside. Move your body non-stop, take a breath and fill your glass up and raise your hands up. It's time to blink and wink to the girl with the glamorous things. Go on, this ship won't sink. We feel like nightclub kings. 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 Non-stop, take a breath and fill your glass up and raise your hands up. It's time to blink and wink to the girl with the glamorous things. Go on, this ship will sink. We feel like nightclub kings. Tonight, push inside. Feel you glass up, feel your glass up. Raise your hands up, your hands up, raise your hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. Just smile if you're having fun.
Okay, I forgot to press stop in time. Yeah, you got to make sure it doesn't loop round when you're playing live. Hope you enjoyed that. I did make one mistake in the middle. You can probably spot where it is. Press the wrong note on here, but hey, there we go. I'm only human. We all make mistakes. So, hope you enjoyed that. Let's say that's going to be out 27th of September. If you like that, please go check it out and stream it. And usual things like subscribe, share it around, and yeah, check out my music. It would be much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.